see you have constructed a new lightsaber. Your training is now complete. Return of the Jedi, the last in the original trilogy, the third film of the Star Wars original trilogy. Return of the Jedi. This is an exciting movie for me to talk about. I love A New Hope, and I love The Empire Strikes Back, and I love Return of the Jedi. This is probably my third favorite Star Wars film after those two. And it's definitely not as good as those two movies. This one definitely has some very small issues and some things I wish they cleaned up, and it's definitely not a as well paced or directed film than those two movies. And let's get the issues with this movie out of the way, because there are some. And in my opinion, they don't affect them. But I'm getting them out of the way now so I can just talk about all the stuff I really adore about Return of the Jedi. And again, it's not as well paced as the first two. It definitely has that three-act structure that they all have. But this one, it's more apparent when it changes from those structure, and sometimes be a little irritating. It's just not, it doesn't flow as nicely as the other two. And it's still as immersive as those other two movies are. But it just doesn't flow as nicely. It's not as well paced, and it's not as well directed either. Still, the shots and the action sequences are brilliant, and the lighting, and oh my god, the direction in this movie is still amazing. But Richard McQuarrie doesn't do as good of a job as Irvin Kershner or George Lucas did in A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. But still, the direction is still excellent. Again, it's just not as visceral. It's not as tense as the other two movies, which is my biggest problem with it. Like, the final moments in A New Hope when Luke is about to blow up the Death Star are really intense, and all of The Empire Strikes Back is really intense. None of this movie ever reaches those heights for me, but it reaches the heights on enjoyment, because this is easily the most fun I can have with a Star Wars movie, and it's the most enjoyable for me. This was easily the childhood favorite of mine. I've now come to learn that the other two are better movies, but Return of the Jedi, even though I do have those little flaws there, this is such an entertaining film. This is such an exciting, emotional Star Wars film that I just love. Sometimes it is a little more conventional than the other two, and it does things that don't really live up to those. Like, it has the Death Star back, and just an easier way to destroy it. Another space battle, another land battle, another lightsaber battle. It's just more of the same. But the thing that makes this best is the characters. And let's get into the characters. Where all these characters are: Han's in Carbonite, Luke is a Jedi Master, Yoda is dying. Spoilers for Return of the Jedi if you've never seen it. And you have Princess Leia, who's like a bounty hunter, and then turns into a slave from Jabba the Hutt. And, where all these characters are at this moment of time is really interesting. You can see they've changed at this moment of time. I love Han in this movie, where he just comes out of he comes out of Carbonite, and he's sort of adjusting to all these new changes that these characters have gone through, like a Jedi Knight. Oh, joy. And we're sort of learning with Han sort of these changes that have happened to these characters. And I like that movie puts us in the perspective of that character, because he was always the character. He's just the guy on this mission. Like Luke, he's a really relatable character, probably the most relatable character in all of Star Wars, but, I mean, he has special powers. Han is just the guy here. And it does that really well with, us learning the information with him, and I think that's really, really good for the first act of this film. And this movie definitely is split into its first, second, and third act. The third act being a mixture between a land battle, a lightsaber battle, and a space battle. The second act being a really nice adventure on Endor, and the first act being an extremely entertaining Jabba the Hutt sequence on Tatooine. In Jabba's palace, which I love all of Jabba's palace's stuff. It's amazing. Some of the CGI changes I'm not a huge fan of in this movie, but that's fine. But I do really love the Jabba stuff. Jabba is just a disgusting, evil creature, and I love him to death. He's amazing in this movie. C-3PO and R2-D2 have so many moments to shine. I love those two. They are so amazing. Chewbacca as well, phenomenal. Princess Leia probably has the best of her character we've seen, because she just becomes a much more developed character in this movie as she learns things about herself and about the people around her. And I'll get into my favorite scene in the movie later on when we go through that. But this opening action sequence is just really entertaining, and how each of the characters come through and get revealed is really tense, and it sets up loads of stuff really, really well. And it's really entertaining. Boba Fett gets thrown into the Sarlacc pit. I wasn't a huge fan of how they added the Sarlacc pit's mouth. I just liked it when it was just a pit of teeth, you know? Pit of teeth is far more scary and and entertaining. But again, these are like the most nitpick of nitpicks that I can find. I mean, I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I'm going to find little things I don't like in it, except The Empire Strikes Back and New Hope. There really is nothing in those movies I dislike. But in this one, there's a few little things, which is why it's not as good. But it still is amazing, and this opening first act is really, really good. And the first 40 minutes of this movie is very fast-paced and entertaining. And then it slows down a little bit. And that's where I come into the little pacing issue there. But again, it's nothing much. I mean, I'm still really immersed in this movie, and I'm still really excited with these characters. And again, each viewing of this film, every single viewing I have of the original trilogy films gets better, which is just insane to me. It's like, oh my god, I keep learning more things about these movies, even though I've seen them since I was 2 years old. It's just fascinating to me how much these movies do grow on you. And Return of the Jedi is one that I actually do sort of remember my first viewing of this film. I remember feeling magical. I remember feeling immersed into something. It was the first time I ever actually remember feeling like I was transported into the film. And that's what this movie does so well. It transports you into a galaxy far, far away. And that's what Endor does especially well for me. I love it. It's sort of the same thing with Hoth and Dagobah. Like, anytime I'm in an area that feels like Hoth or Dagobah, I imagine I'm in Hoth or Dagobah. Sort of the same, every time I'm in a forest, I feel like I'm in Endor. But it's not like, oh, this forest is a familiar place to Earth. It's like, oh, every time I'm on Earth and in a forest, it feels like I'm in a galaxy far, far away. And I'm extremely immersed in all of this. When it gets into this moment, I'm just completely forgetting I'm watching a film. I'm completely forgetting that there's things behind me and there's things in front of me and that I'm watching a screen. I just completely forget, and I'm just so invested in these characters and where they are going and the story leading to it. Luke and Vader having that conflict throughout the film, and that father-son relationship, that force connection they keep having is really, really intense. And then coming into Darth Vader's redemption at the end is a really satisfying moment. One of the best moments in cinema history, that Darth Vader redemption moment, because it really does have that satisfying feeling, and that's what Return of the Jedi does. It satisfies you with all the character conclusions you could have had. One little character thing I thought I missed out, I'm pretty sure when Han gets put in carbonite in The Empire Strikes Back, the last thing he would remember of Lando was that Lando betrayed him. So I don't know why him and Lando are just friends. Like, I'm pretty sure Han would be like, you betrayed me. You put me in carbonite for, like, years. Like, screw you, man. You can stay in the Sarlacc pit. But I know they're friends. It's just the last time Han saw Lando, he did betray him. So it's a little inconsistency there. But again, there's loads of little things like that in this movie that do bug me. But they don't annoy me. I don't really care about them because I'm just so immersed into this film and this world. And let's get into the Ewoks, because I know that's the controversial part of Return of the Jedi. A lot of people are like, too cutesy, oh, ridiculous, no. I love them. I love these cute little bears. I just want to hug them. I want an army of them. I love them. Oh man, Ewoks. They're so cute. They make me laugh. They make me cry. I love them. And the scene where Yoda dies as well is just such an emotional moment, because Yoda is revealing everything, and that look on Luke's face when Yoda does actually tell Luke that Darth Vader was telling the truth and he is his father, the distraught on Luke's face. Like, he didn't think it was true before. He didn't really know. He had a feeling, but he didn't fully know. Now he fully knows. And it's that look of horror on his face, really. and it's a really chilling moment, and it does shed a tear down my eye when I do watch that scene. And then the scene that Obi-Wan has the conversation with Luke as well sort of wraps up that bow between those characters, and it does that really excellently. And Luke finding out that Leia is his sister, and it's at that moment that you realize that Luke hasn't actually told anyone that Vader is his father yet. Leia doesn't know, Han doesn't know. And that leads me into my favourite scene in this movie, which is where we first get the amazing Luke and Leia theme. And I love how it transitions when Luke walks away, and it transitions into the Han and Leia theme when Han walks on. Amazing music in this movie. The Ewok celebration theme is, of course, amazing. It has the space battle music in this movie is phenomenal. We get some other great themes that we've had before. The Jabba song is quite fun. You know, the music is fantastic. I love the Ewok songs as well. The Ewok songs, bravo, you give me the chills. But, yeah, I love that moment. That moment where everything is revealed. Luke is telling him, the Force, it's strong in my family. I have it. My father has it. My sister has it. It's, oh my god, that's such an emotional moment. I cry and get chills all the time. The mist in that scene, and Luke saying goodbye, and Han's confusion is just really well earned. And then Leia telling Han later on, another really fun moment. But I do love Harrison Ford in these movies, and he's really entertaining here.
Hey, it's me.
The action sequences are really fun, AT-STs are great, and the Ewoks are entertaining. But some of the action scenes really stand out here. The space battle, of course, I'm not really going to go into space battle by that much because it's just epic and amazing, and it's a trap. But the speeder bike scene is one of my favourite action scenes of all time. It's one of my favourite chase scenes of all time. The speeder bike chase is intense as hell. I love it. It just sends chills down my entire body. It gives me the butterflies. It's amazing. It's so well filmed because there's so many trees everywhere. And it's like they keep swooshing through on the trees, and it's so fast and so long, and it's just so intense. Jumping from bikes to bike, more bikes keep coming in. When they explode, you can just feel it. Such an amazing sequence. I love that scene. It's so well filmed. And we eventually have the amazing lightsaber duel, which is amazing. It's not as intense or as well choreographed as the sequence from The Empire Strikes Back in Cloud City. That lightsaber duel, I think, is a little stronger. But it's the emotional conflict that's going on here, and the Emperor as well. Such an intimidating character. You feel it when he's on screen, and the performance is excellent. I can't wait to see what they do with him in 9. I'm still a bit off about that, but I'm still excited to see him come back. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, though. But let's not talk about Episode 9 for now. We'll wait till next week. But, yeah, Return of the Jedi pretty much satisfied me with the Emperor, and he's a very scary character. The scene where he's electrocuting Luke is horrifying, and it's really distraught, and you can see that on Darth Vader. And I love this lightsaber battle. I love the bit where Luke is a bit conflicted. Darth Vader's conflicted. You know, both these characters are on the different edge here. And I love the bit where Darth Vader's giving his amazing monologue, and you see that close-up of Luke Skywalker, and you can see the red light on this side of her face, and the blue light on this side of his face, the conflict in him. Oh my god, such amazing imagery. In that moment, you know, oh, Luke's a bit on the edge here as well. And then he gets completely angry. Luke lashes out. He cuts off Vader's hand. He realizes that, oh god, maybe he is turning to the dark side, and he clenches his hand. It's like, oh, like Vader cut off my hand. Like, oh my god, you know, it's sort of mirroring that, and then the Emperor electrocutes him, and then you see the electric fading on Vader's face, and, Father, please, help! And it's really intense, and then Darth Vader just grabs the Emperor, throws him down that shaft, and it's so satisfying. It's like, yes, the Chosen One. Of course, we didn't know that at this point in time. The prequels added that in. But, yeah, it does feel satisfying. It feels like this was meant to happen. It feels right. And I loved Vader's funeral scene. That scene also gives me the chills. There's so many scenes in this movie, in the whole original trilogy, that gives me chills. pretty much most of the movies because I'm just so immersed. I mean, I don't think I've had that, and it's really hard just to sit here and talk about it, like just saying, "Oh, I was immersed." Yeah, okay. But really, I mean, the Star Wars films, the original trilogy even, are the movies that have inspired me, and are the movies that make me feel like I'm not watching movies. Are the movies that transform me to a galaxy far, far away. Are the movies that get me just thinking about it all the time. I mean, Star Wars, it's just the best. It is the best. It's the best. And Return of the Jedi is also amazing. And there's so many little moments in there that I love. Lando Calrissian is really entertaining, and the final shot of the ghosts and is really satisfying. And the final shot of all of them sat there smiling in the celebration, it's just a great, satisfying finale. I love Return of the Jedi. It's a very entertaining, exciting Star Wars movie. I have a few nitpicks with it here and there, but to be honest, I'm not going to downgrade the film because of that, because this original trilogy has just been so impactful to me. And again, the Return of the Jedi, it's not escaping from my highest grade. Return of the Jedi gets an A plus and a 10 out of 10. The same grade I've given to the other two original trilogy Star Wars films, even though I do like this one less, and I do like the other two more. I still really love this movie. I think it's really great. It's just not as well paced or directed as those first two, but it still is an amazing Star Wars film. But guys, comment down below your opinions on Return of the Jedi, and of course, thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Hey, it's me.